Hello, everyone. So, guess what? I am trying to go live on TikTok for the first time, and it's asking me for my date of birth. Didn't expect that to happen. So, it's delaying me. uh, okay. Oh, this is like a whole thing. Okay. All right. If you're with me for the first time, welcome. Welcome to the Janelle Villiers podcast, where I am all about I just had to like show my face at TikTok so they could prove that I'm like not a kid. So I am all about helping people with their authorship journey. Mm, excuse me, giving tips on how people can start their authorship journey or maybe continue if they feel like they're getting stuck. It's one of the things we're going to talk about today. And sometimes I actually have on other authors come on and they share their stories, which is a lot of fun. And then finally, sometimes I have people on as guests who haven't written a book yet, but their story is worth sharing and telling. And so if you have been on any of those previous shows, go ahead and put a 2 in the chat. Let me know that you are returning. But if this is your first time with us on the Janelle Villiers podcast, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. I love to shout out everybody, those who are returning and those who are here for the first time. And speaking of first time, I am now for the first time going live on TikTok. So welcome to everybody on TikTok who ends up following me here live on TikTok. I am now officially live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now TikTok, which is pretty exciting. So today I have a great topic for you guys. We're talking about what happens when you're just staring at the blank page, right? I love today's topic because I know that this comes up a lot for people. The question is, how do you write when you feel stuck, right? That's the question. That is literally the question we're going to talk about today. And as you guys know, if you've been with me in the past, you know I always have notes because I don't want to miss a thing. I'm going to make sure that I get you guys all the information. So for those in TikTok land, just know that I'm reading from my notes if I don't look at you directly. But I'm really excited to get into today's topic because this is actually really important. How do you write when you're stuck? Number one, I wanted to talk about why just start writing advice. It doesn't work. It really doesn't. And here's some 3 tips. Writing without structure, honestly, just leads to self-doubt. You have a lot of doubt, like, oh, is this good enough? And you haven't even finished yet, but you're already self-doubting yourself. And that doubt can actually prevent you from even writing anything at all. Just start, right? Just start already, right? That doesn't account for all of the like emotional resistance that you're having. A lot of it, again, being fear. So just start isn't going to work. You need to kind of like warm up to what you're about to do, to the writing process. Like shoving you isn't necessarily going to be the answer. And so what I would recommend is that you replace just write with just describe. Instead of writing a chapter, describe a moment, a scene, an emotion that a character is having. And this kind of lowers the stakes and unlocks a lot of flow that you're looking for, right? And so honestly, guys, all you need is to just start writing. It doesn't even have to be about the book that you're writing. You could be describing anything else. We did some description prompts together. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you saw how I recommended prompts for describing a scene. And I was in a particular scene, and then I allowed you guys to use as many senses as possible. So your senses being sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, right? And so that was really cool. Some of you did that. And so if you haven't done that, you can go back and do it now. It's a lot of fun. But again, it just gets you to write. The whole point is you just need to start writing. And sometimes we get so into our heads about what we're about to write that we never even start. And so this is a great way to just get the juices flowing, right? Okay. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about is maybe like a surprising reason that you're even blocked. I think a lot of people think like, oh, the reason why I'm stuck looking at this blank page is because I'm lazy, or at least maybe you fear that that's what people are thinking about you. And so I really want to just tell you, it's not usually that. It's not usually that. It's not that you're lazy. That really isn't it. I think the number one reason is because you're likely dealing with fear, not in laziness. Your fear that you're going to be judged, that you might get this wrong, that you might be wasting time. And all of that, all of those types of fears could stop you from actually writing at all. And so again, you're just staring at this blank page, not writing, because you're like locked in this like, oh my gosh, what are people going to say about what I write? I better write the right thing. What if I get it wrong? Right? Like all of that. And so I want you to know point number 2 is that perfectionism disguises itself as planning. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. And then like, because you keep thinking that, you're like, all right, well, I got to plan what I'm going to write. And I got to plan for this. And you never do anything. Right. And so I just really want to just let you know that over planning isn't necessarily a good thing. You want to actually just start writing. So what I described earlier is writing a description, right? Like look at a scene and just think about your 5 senses. Use your 5 senses to describe a scene, describe a moment, describe an emotion, whatever it is, just to get you going. And just know that it's not going to be perfect. Give yourself permission to know that it's not going to be perfect. In fact, it never is. It's going to be a crappy first draft, people. Crappy first draft. Okay. Number 3 is that you're expecting clarity without momentum. So clarity doesn't like come not necessarily before the writing. It comes actually while you're writing, believe it or not. So while you're writing, you're starting to write, you're like, oh, no, not that. Oh, no, not that. Oh, wait, I want to use this word. I want to use that word. But you'll never really know that until you start writing. So you have to move forward, even in the imperfection. You have to keep going, even though you're feeling some fear or maybe a little bit scared. But moving forward, that's actually how you find the shape of the words that you want to use and what you want to say. So getting out of staring at the blank page, a lot of it is recognition that I'm probably just scared right now. I'm probably just really scared. So if this makes sense, if you feel like you have gone through something like this, please put a yes in the chat, in the comments, so I know that this is resonating. People understand what I'm talking about. Okay, number 3, the third thing I wanted to talk to you about is what's a 5-minute like writing shift that has actually helped some of my clients write chapters within weeks, right? So this isn't magic. It really is just like a mindset shift. And I want to get you guys, I'm going to give you guys some clarity on that. So number 1 is give yourself permission-based prompts. So what I mean by that is like, I give myself permission to write this boldly. I give myself permission to write this boldly. That's actually really powerful, right? It lowers the pressure of like, I would give myself permission to write it perfectly, but now you're writing it boldly. So you're just going into momentum of writing, right? And that kind of like kicks this momentum, because once the momentum starts going and your wheels start turning, that's what's most important. Number 2 is set a 5-minute timer. And the minute the timer goes off, you stop writing. And I'm serious about this because a lot of people are like, oh, like I can write for an hour. I can write for a half an hour. I don't even want you to do that. I just want you to write for 5 minutes. I've talked about sprints before. If you've been on any of my master classes, you know I talk about sprints, and usually I'm talking about a 10 to 15 minute sprint. I'm saying even less than that, 5 minutes. And it sounds counterintuitive, right? But stopping before you're drained, stopping before you're tired or lost or like, what should I write next? If you stop before that, it actually builds a craving to do more, and it also builds confidence. And that's what's going to have you keep going and keep wanting to write more. So please, 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 whatever you do, you got to stop the timer. Give yourself 5 minutes. I know it's going to sound crazy because you're going to be like, but I can do that. It's that feeling that I could do that. That's going to help you show up again to write the next time, instead of freaking out at staring at this blank page and you're not really sure what to write. So number 1, give yourself permission to write it boldly, not perfectly, boldly, and then set a 5-minute timer and only write for 5 minutes. Focus on a single emotion. So instead of writing chapter 1 or chapter 10, just focus on a moment, like I talked about before, an emotion. One of my examples, like one of my clients, she was writing about the moment she realized that she had to quit her job. Right? Just that moment, not a whole scene, just that moment. The moment she realized she had to quit her job. And just start there. There's only 5 minutes. You only got 5 minutes. So just describing a moment. And again, all of this is to get you going. Because then when you come back to the page after the 5 minutes, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. And then I want to write this and I want to write that. Right? Like it just gets the wheels turning. That's the whole point of this. So that is some of the things that have really helped my clients like move forward very, very quickly. If you found that helpful, go ahead and put helpful in the comments so I know I'm not out here talking to myself. I have found these things to be helpful for myself as well when I'm writing, and so really and truly, all I'm trying to do is help you guys stop freaking out about staring at this blank page, and I have found this to be really, really helpful. Okay. So then the fourth thing I wanted to talk to you about is the mindset shift that will change your relationship with the page basically forever. I think a lot of people think that they need to be ready. Like you need to be ready to write. But the truth is like you're never really ready, right? It's like you're processing, not performing. So you're not trying to impress, you're not trying to be ready. You're just trying to express something, express what's in your heart, what's in your head. That's really what you're doing. And so remember that the first draft is not the final product. That's why you have an editing team. That's why you have editors, because literally the editors take your draft and polish it and make it sing and make you proud of what you're about to put out in the world, right? And so hairstyle, I don't know. This is shingling. If you know shingling, that's what I do. I use shingling. I use Miss Miel hair products and I shingle my hair. Okay. So remember that the first draft is not the final product. And finally, show up for the version of you who needed this message that you're writing right now. So don't think about, the thousands or millions of people that you think you're going to just write for that one person. Write for that one person who needs to hear the message that you're wanting to get across. That is what's going to be really helpful. That is what's going to help motivate you to like start writing. That's what's going to get the juices flowing. So that way you can get what's out of your head, out of your head and onto the page, right? Like that is what's really important. Okay. So I'm going to sum up what we talked about today. So as you recall, today's topic is how do you write when you feel stuck? And so we went over 4 major things. Number 1, why just start? That type of just start writing advice really doesn't work. 1, because writing without structure leads to self-doubt. You're like, oh, is this going to be good enough? I don't know. And you just kind of spiral and continue staring at the page. Just start doesn't account for the emotional resistance that you're having. I would say that you need to warm up to the writing. And so replace just write with just describe, and just describe a scene, an emotion, of a singular moment in time in the book. That's really what's going to be helpful. Number 2, we talked about the surprising reasons why you're blocked. And a lot of times, guys, it's fear. It's fear that you're going to be judged, fear that you're getting it wrong, fear that you're wasting more time. And I'm here to tell you that what you have in your head and in your heart to write is important. So keep going. You need to keep going. This is not, God didn't put what's put in your head and your heart the book to write if it wasn't meant to be read by somebody. So you are going to help somebody. Remember that perfection disguises itself as planning. So you think like, oh, I got to just plan. I just got to plan so that way it can be perfect. No, you just have to write even when it's not perfect, even when you're trying to fumble and figure out what the words are that you want to use, because clarity doesn't come before you start writing. You actually become more clear in the writing itself. So number 3, we talked about a 5-minute writing shift that helps one of my clients go from stuck to writing several chapters of her book in a matter of 3 weeks. And so just so you know, it's not magic, it's just mindset. Number 1, it was permission-based. She gave herself permission to write boldly. So instead of perfect, she just gave herself permission to write boldly. The next thing is that you focus on, that you give yourself a 5-minute timer. Only write for 5 minutes. Don't write for anything more than that because you're trying to gain confidence, right? And the third thing is that you're going to focus on a single emotional moment. Just focus on that singular emotional moment in those 5 minutes. And lastly, we talked about the mindset shift that will change your relationship with the blank page forever. And number 1, it's you're not here to perform. You're here to process. So you're here to process emotions. You're here to process moments in time, things like that. The first draft, or number 2 thing to remember, is that the first draft is not your final product. I keep saying this over and over again, but somehow people still believe that their first draft is going to be the thing that they actually publish. It never is. It's going to be your shitty first draft for a reason. Sorry. It's going to be your crappy first draft for a reason. because it always is. That's literally why you have editors, and they polish it so it sings and you feel proud of it. And then the third thing is that you got to show up for the version of the person who's waiting to hear this message that you have to share with your book. Write for that one person. Don't write for the whole world, just write for that one person. Okay. So I hope you guys found these hints and tips useful. If you've ever been stuck staring at the blank page, let me know below. That's me. I've done that. If you found this valuable, go ahead and put a V in the comments. That way I know that you know it's valuable. I come back and I check all the comments. So if you're looking on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, I will see the comments. I will respond. I promise. I'm a real person. And so I will be back again next Monday. And thank you for everyone who joined on TikTok. This is my first time doing a live on TikTok. So I will be back next week, Monday, for another topic, maybe even a guest. So stay tuned for that. Until then, have a great night, everyone. Take care. Bye.